files. That is an indisputable fact at this point. You can't debate it. And it's why I'm actually more interested in the other names that Donald Trump is trying to cover up, those who were associates of Epstein, who were related to him through business or through family, because there is another Trump last name in the Epstein files, and it belongs to Melania, according to new information we got today that is shedding some serious light on Melania's dark past with Epstein. We are going to get into it all and why Donald Trump is panicking, but before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we can get into this new reporting about Melania and her parties with Epstein, I want to start with the update that we need on new information released today about Epstein from Robert Garcia right here.
Hey, it's Congressman Robert Garcia. Now, we just received some new Epstein files and documents from the Epstein estate, and some of the names are going to surprise you. Now, in this actual batch, we've got flight logs, we've got financial records, we've got information about Epstein that goes back 30 years that we just received. The files show evidence of scheduled meetings with Peter Thiel and Steve Bannon, as well as a pending trip by Elon Musk to Epstein's infamous island. Did he go? That question needs to be asked. We also know other folks are listed as passengers, including Prince Andrew. And the more files we get, the more we realize how vast Epstein's network really was. It spanned the globe, reaching high places and powerful people. And like I've said before, I don't care how much money you have, how powerful you are, or if you're a Republican or a Democrat. If you harm the women and girls, you deserve to be exposed, and we have to get justice for the survivors. The Attorney General, Pam Bondi, has the power right now to release all of the files. We need them released. Release the files immediately. Thanks so much.
I will continue to bring this up every single time I talk about Jeffrey Epstein, but right now, the DOJ is blocking NBC News from obtaining two names of two Jeffrey Epstein associates who were wired $100,000 and $250,000 respectively for we don't know what. But if we did, it might be yet another lead in this quest to get any information that isn't being held down and locked up by the DOJ. Because that is where the birthday book came from. That is where this new round, this new batch of information, flight logs showing Elon Musk might have taken a trip to Jeffrey Epstein's island. I guess that's really a shock to no one. But we were able to obtain that information. Robert Garcia and Dems on the Oversight Committee were able to obtain that information because they are going after the associates. They are going after the Epstein estate. That is where they are getting this information from. And it's why Donald Trump wants to cover up for all of those involved in this criminal cabal, because he knows, as I continue to say, if you keep pulling at that string, it is all going to unravel. They can't even really deny at this point that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files. We saw Kash Patel melt down when he tried to hear.
Who did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files? Yes or no?
Why don't you try spelling it out?
Yes
if you're gonna mock
or no, Director?
Use the alphabet.
Yes or no?
No? A, B, C,
Director,
D, E, F?
it
Don't
sounds
wanna
like
do
you
it?
don't want to tell us. Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name was in the Epstein files?
Why don't you try serving your
Director,
constituency
did
by
you tell the
focusing on
Attorney
reducing
General
violent
that Donald
crime in this
Trump's
country and the number of pedophiles that are
Director,
legally
reclaiming
harbored
my time,
in your
Director.
sanctuary cities in
Director,
California?
reclaiming
I'll
my
work with
time.
you on that. Do
Regular
you
order,
want to
Mr.
work with
Chairman.
us on that?
Director,
I
reclaiming my
belong to the
time.
gentleman from California.
Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files?
Question
Yes or no?
has been asked and answered.
You've not answered it, and we will take your evasiveness as a consciousness of guilt.
It is so obvious that Kash Patel is trying to avoid perjuring himself again. But it's interesting because the question by Eric Swalwell is really like, is Trump's name in the Epstein files? But he didn't ask which one. There are lots of Trumps, and we know that the beginning of Donald and Melania's relationship certainly had a lot to do with Jeffrey Epstein, but we really haven't known how much yet. And I think that it is important to point out that as we talk about how notably absent Melania Trump has been in Trump 2.0, that some of it might have to do with the fact that she doesn't want her dark past being brought into the Epstein scandal. She didn't want to be around Donald Trump during his Stormy Daniels trial, And now that they're both on trial, she certainly doesn't want her name drug into the mud. But I'm sorry, that already happened when you were hanging out with Epstein and throwing parties, which was detailed in this Daily Beast report right here. Epstein bought Andrew massage just before party with Melania. Prince Andrew had a $200 massage paid for by trafficker Jeffrey Epstein the day before both men partied with Donald Trump, the royalist can reveal. The payment is shown in new documentation released by Democrats on the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform and forms part of the third batch of documents to be released from the Epstein estate. In a list of payments made by Epstein, 2 entries for massage are shown with the reference Andrew. One of these is dated May 16, 2000, just days after Andrew flew by private jet from New Jersey to Palm Beach with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. The other Andrew massage payment of $200 is dated February 11th. The very next day saw Andrew and Epstein party with Donald Trump and Melania Trump at Trump's Mar-a-Lago club in Florida. A dated photograph of Andrew and Epstein with Melania has been widely circulated. The Democratic Oversight Committee's press release listed a roll call of Epstein's political and Silicon Valley acquaintances, including Peter Thiel, Elon Musk, and Steve Bannon. Oversight spokesperson Sarah Guerrero said it should be clear to every American that Jeffrey Epstein was friends with some of the most powerful and wealthiest men and Melania in the world. Every new document produced provides new information as we work to bring justice for the survivors and victims. Oversight Democrats will not stop until we identify everyone complicit in Epstein's heinous crimes. It's past time for Attorney General Bondi to release all the files now. It is very important to note the connection between Melania and Epstein and Melania and Maxwell because, of course, so much of Donald Trump's argument is that he was never really friends with Epstein. They weren't really buddies. Maybe they bumped into each other and they played in the same circles. But these photos of Melania with Prince Andrew and Epstein by herself shows that this is someone that she was comfortable with. This is someone who was in Donald Trump's everyday life. This is someone who she interacted with. It was partly the reason that they got together. Donald Trump's connection with Epstein is undeniable at this point, and it is made even more undeniable by the connection to Melania, who clearly does not want to be a part of this. Donald Trump certainly doesn't want any part of it either, which is why he's going after his political enemies, not only as a part of the expansion of his authoritarian project, but certainly in an effort to distract. And Jasmine Crockett called that all out as it relates to James Comey last night in this clip right here.
What do you make of the developments of this week in terms of this regime trying to criminalize dissent?
Yeah, so here's the thing. I want the American people to know that when you stand up to a bully, you win. Do not back down. Do not bend. You allow them to go and wage their threats. If everybody starts to bend, for sure what is left of our democracy will be gone. And unfortunately, that is exactly what he wants. And even more sadly is that many of his followers agree with this. And I am thinking to myself, how is it that you can call yourself American or patriotic when you literally don't understand who we are as Americans, when you literally are okay with throwing out the Constitution, when you're okay with someone just deciding, you know what, this is the end result that I'm seeking, and so just figure out how to get there versus doing what you are supposed to do. And I am so appalled at those that took an oath, at those that actually went to law school. Many of us ended up with law school debt. And then we have to take not only the bar exam, but we have an ethics exam that we have to take, because there is supposed to be some level of ethics in what we do when we go into a courtroom. Now you have people that literally either they just don't know the law or they just don't care. But the idea that you would go after someone, and listen, even as Democrats, we had our fair share of issues with James Comey, okay? But that's not a reason to prosecute someone. And so here's the deal. If he decides that he wants to continue down this path, I think that they're going to continue to lose. And I don't see the former FBI director saying that he is going to just go ahead and say enter into a plea deal, or he's just going to take this line down. I think that this is someone who absolutely will fight this to the end.
Yeah, it's a good point. I should note that he has a defense attorney, Patrick Fitzgerald, former U.S. attorney, former special attorney, special counsel. He also successfully prosecuted Rod Blagojevich, other politicians as well. He was the one appointed by George W. Bush as a special counsel during the Scooter Libby investigation. Final thing to you is like the Jimmy Kimmel thing broke through in a way that maybe him going after, say, Lisa Cook, the Fed governor, didn't quite. Do you think this breaks through? Is this the kind of thing that people talk about on the grocery store line, in barbershops, et cetera? Be honest.
I don't know. If I'm being perfectly honest with you, I don't know. As someone who has traveled this country and talked to people on a very granular level, I think, and I love Jimmy Kimmel. I do. I've done his show twice. But him having the notoriety and the popularity that he had was very helpful, right? Yeah. I do think that there are those of us that are always in the weeds, that we look at what happened to Lisa Cook, who won as well, that we look at this situation as with James Comey. I think that there were those that, even when we talk about Colin Kaepernick, one of the things that I've been trying to make sure that people understand is that Colin Kaepernick, that was our first inkling that this was going to be someone that would use his governmental powers to go after free speech. But we kind of shrugged it off. Either you agreed with what he was talking about or you didn't, and you let it go. And that's not what speech is supposed to be about. It's not whether or not you agree. It's whether or not you are able to do it freely.
Donald Trump ran for president because he wanted to, of course, grift as much as possible, but also stay out of prison. His new prison has become the Epstein scandal. He wants to stay away from, keep people from talking about, really just cover up Epstein in whatever way possible. And so he will do whatever it takes to go after anyone who holds him accountable and tries to seek justice, but also he'll go after anyone who he thinks will distract the media long enough that he doesn't have to talk about Epstein. Now, that doesn't mean that we shouldn't take all of these issues as seriously, or some even more seriously sometimes, because the moment dictates that we have to. But we should always remember the overarching theme of corruption that is rampant in this administration. That Donald Trump is always seeking to serve himself, and we got to call that out, which we're going to be doing on this show. If you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. If you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. And if you want to support the show in other ways, you can become a subscriber, either free or paid, to my Substack, linked right here or down below. Keep on fighting. Don't let them silence you. And until next time, I'll see you soon.